So we dating app update while I'm out here on my solo holiday. Last night when I was out, I had somebody come up to me across the dance floor and he pointed to me, and I thought stupidly he was going to ask me to dance, but instead he said to me, "You're on Tinder and I liked you and you haven't liked me back yet." So I was a wee bit taken aback because I hadn't really thought about the dating apps changing your location. So it did make me kind of laugh a wee bit kind of nervous, but I have no intention of dating out here whatsoever. But it's given me a little bit of food for thought that when I get back home, hopefully somebody will swipe on me. That's a 20-minute drive, but fingers crossed. I'll just need to wait and see.
Oh, behave.
You know, the number one question that my male viewers are going to come up with is, why did you make a video and put it up on blast about you having a dating app and you went on vacation and the tracker moved with you and then some guy approached you and then you're saying, "Oh, I don't want to date over there. I want to date back over here. Some other guy that's about a 20-minute drive from me should hit me up." That was a rhetorical question. I'm going to say exactly why. Because it's called attention. It's the one thing that a lot of women crave like water. What is the necessity of you putting your personal business, of your dating frustrations out on the internet? More importantly, what is the necessity of a 40-plus-year-old queen doing these things? Sister, I'm going to help you out here a little bit. This guy that you're talking about that's only a 20-minute drive for you, he sure as hell is not going to hit you up after watching a video like this. Want to know why? Because this tells him that you put every little detail of your personal life out on blast for the world to see. And this is one thing that a lot of you women don't understand. Men are not attracted to these things. Men like their privacy. Men like their peace of mind. Men like to keep things between the both of you. No one else needs to know. But you keep going, Colleen. I'm pretty sure there's a blabbermouth, blue-pilled simp out there who is dying to meet you and then put a video himself about that and get like 3 views. Before we move on, I want to bring attention that 70% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. Come on, fam. You've seen my logo on other channels and you're already here. Please hit that subscribe button and support the channel. It really helps out. Moving on.
Even as a woman with a child myself, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it has been a complete 180 dating a man without kids, really for the first time in my adulthood. I highly recommend, like 10 out of 10 experience, because this man of mine with no baby, ladies, I am the baby, me. For example, this man just took a break from work, drove to my place of residence, and arrived with these. A bag full of cupcakes. Why would he bring me cupcakes on a random weekday? Because he said when he called me this morning, I didn't sound like my usual self. And he knows that cupcakes are my favorite thing. I love cupcakes. So he ordered them while he was at work and brought them here to surprise me, just to see me smile. I am the baby. Me. And I love it here. I love it here.
Mama say that happiness is from magic rays of sunshine that come down when you're feeling blue.
This video of this recently post-walled smash queen has got so many angles to it, I had to keep this one in. I mean, let's run through them real quickly. She wants to be treated like a child. She already said that. She wants to date a man who doesn't have kids, which is a double standard a lot of men complain about. She probably is dating a guy who is older than her, who obviously does a bunch of the small things that she believes that she's being spoiled. And finally, this is the treatment that women who are older than her expect from men, but aren't gonna get it. If I were to guess, she's dating a guy who is in either his late 30s, early 40s, maybe even older. I mean, I can go on for at least 5 minutes on each point that I just put out there. But the key takeaway here is, notice how she is happy with the double standards set in dating. She said she has a child. She would expect him to accept that as a package deal, while at the same time saying she's happy he doesn't have kids. She's clearly hit the wall, but she wants to be treated like a baby. Many of my male viewers will say women want the responsibility of a child. And this is the kind of treatment that older women want from all men, but only a few are gonna get it. All I can say to these older queens out there watching this video, observe. You could attract more flies with honey than you can with vinegar or roast beef. Moving on.
Okay, so this morning, trying to breathe. Actually, let me back that up. 2 weeks ago, my aunt tells me, "You're too pretty and too young. You need to find somebody," and that. Maybe you should put yourself out there on a dating site. idea. First of all, I had to weed through like 500 no. So it's kind of like shopping, but in like a horrible thrift store, like in the ghetto. There ain't nothing pretty. And then I kind of meet someone on there. He's saying kind of like, all right stuff. He's not weird, I think. Looks okay, Can speak English. That's a big one. So anyways, this morning, I agreed to meet him tomorrow for lunch. This morning, though, as I'm not awake, haven't even had my coffee yet. You could see my hair is still drying. I get a random...
All right, let's take this video by sections. The first part is she's saying about her going out on the dating apps and it's just like thrift shopping in the ghetto. There's nothing pretty. Sister, what I gotta say about that is, have you looked in the mirror? I mean, seriously, you know that saying about throwing stones when you live in a glass house? No, what you're trying to say is that all the men that are on that dating app are at your level. You want someone higher than your SMV. Slow down, sis. You can only ask for so much, and I'm pretty sure the filters that you have can only push the envelope so far. Now, let me address very quickly the D-pic she's talking about that she received randomly. I am a personal believer that D-pics are not necessary to shoot out there. Now, I have heard the argument from men out there that say that the reason you throw D-pics out there is because they work sometimes. To each their own strategy. I don't believe D-pics are the best way to go unless you're dealing with a very thirsty woman. And if it's a thirsty woman that is going to say yes just off a D-pic, I really think you should think about that first. But back to this queen. Sister, all I can say is expectation management is warranted here. If you're getting these kind of pics from these kind of men, maybe you should stop and think about, hey, what image am I putting out there to receive these kind of things? Only because I'm assuming this wasn't the only bad one you got. You kept saying there were a bunch of bad profiles out there. Well, that's probably because you're competing against women who are at a higher level than you. And this is the way it goes. Women who have a higher SMV than you get the pick of the top guys. And then it goes downhill from there until the guys that are at your level are the ones that are shooting their shot towards you. Except you don't want anything to do with those guys. Because somehow, some way, you justify that you deserve a 7 when you yourself are below average.
1, I didn't ask you for it. 2, you don't know me in that way. 3, we weren't even talking about it's freaking lunch, you idiot. We were talking about kids, life, jobs, what we both want out of a relationship or whatever you say. First thing this morning with the caption, just in case you were wondering. So, my inner ghetto girl said, "What is that thing? You should never send a girl a dick unless she asks for it or you're currently 2, just don't do it. It's gross. And to make it all worse, he was on the... Ew. Not only do I have a bad visual of a horrible little pencil, now I also have a scent visual about how that smelt. Ew. Just gross. Nasty. Why? And I'm going to be single forever because this is... And I ain't doing this. If I ever find out one of my boys did this, I'm gonna big their ass, even if they're 49.
Show of hands for everybody who knew. Bingo.
Well, sister, I gotta agree with just about every point that you made there about men sending D-pics. You are 100% on the money when you said, don't send a D-pic unless she asks for it or you're already in the sack together. Even then, I don't recommend sending a D-pic, period. But here's something that you're really not seeing, and I'm pretty sure the vast majority of my male viewers are seeing. You are dragging on way too much on something that you could have just disregarded and just blocked them off. You making this video, ranting on it and putting it on the internet, what does that say about you? Well, that says several things. The first thing it says is that you probably were really into this guy until he ruined it. So that shows every man that you get emotionally invested rather quickly, just off conversation. And number 2, you don't really keep things private. So as soon as something goes off the way you want it to, you're quickly going to put it out for the world to see. Men don't like that. Even though I completely disagree with this guy sending you a dick pic if that actually happened, I disagree even more with you with making a video complaining about said intimate thing that he sent you. Was the action itself uncalled for? Of course it was. I agree 100%. Regardless of how idiotic this guy was, he probably wanted to keep this between both of you. But did you stop to think that maybe you blasting this out to the world will let any guy that is considering dating you that sees this video think, oh, wait a minute, no. She's a blabbermouth. All I gotta do is mess up one time and she'll let the world know. I don't want to date that. Now, you admitted yourself that your inner ghetto girl does this and that. Well, here's my recommendation if you want to avoid these things in the future. You need to change that thing about yourself that does these things. Like I said earlier, there's something about you that attracts these kind of men. Well, you just said what it was. Yeah, you're going to be single forever unless you change. Either that or go to your local motorcycle club. I'm pretty sure someone there wants an old lady like you. Moving on.
All right. Happy Dateless in December day 20 and 21. I apologize for not getting on yesterday. It's just been a little crazy with my parents getting here and getting holiday stuff going. So you'll just have to forgive me, all two of you that watch these, if I'm a little bit hit and miss this week. But first and foremost, go Vols. That's the most important thing about today. For you unfortunate souls that are stumbling across this series, name that reference, for the first time, I started it because I was going to go on no dates in the month of December, but as the days have ticked by, I've decided I am going if it's a hell yes situation. So just dating more intentionally and intuitively from now until who knows when. Probably till the end of time. As far as updates, I do have one. And he follows me on here, and I told him I was going to have to talk about it, and he was like, no, don't. So I'll keep him pretty, the witness protection program up in here. I guess before I get to that update, I should do a quick update on Montana Man. He's pretty much dropped off. I don't know. So I'm just trusting the universe on that one, just letting it be. We'll see if he gets back a hold of me. I'm not super worried about it. I really am leaning into you can't lose what's meant to be yours, and the universe puts people and takes them out of your life accordingly. And so I'm trusting it.
Okay, this girl has stumbled in late to this series of her dating updates. And although I haven't seen the whole series, this is kind of the end of the Dates in December series. The last few days of it seems like it. And all I gotta say is this was kind of predictable. It was gonna end up like this. What I mean by that is, ladies, fact check what I'm about to say by dropping questions to my male viewers in the comments. You see, her plan of going dateless in December is something that most men will tell you, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Why? Because, as I've said before, women end up lonely and men end up alone. There's a difference. Men can go longer periods of time without dating. Women really cannot, because what men look for and what women look for can be fulfilled in different ways. Or let me put it another way. Women are not going to pay good money to have their emotional and conversational fulfillments requirements met. They'll just start talking to another guy. So saying, hey, I'm not going to date, blah, blah, blah. Sure, until those lonely feels start hitting those heart chords. And then you decide, you know what, let me go talk to a guy. Another problem that I'm seeing here is something that I've touched on before. Ladies, if you're going to have these social media accounts and you're going to put things on blast, you have to understand this is going to affect your dating life directly. And she even said it here. One guy that she's talking to right now, he's like, no, don't put it out there. She's like, oh, I have to give him witness protection. You're not doing that if you're actually talking about him out here. Don't mention him. But you ladies don't do that. You always have to put on blast everything you do. And this is what makes dating difficult for you girls. And even if you start dating a guy, he's going to have this in the back of his mind, and he knows that eventually you're going to start squawking and they walk away. And this happens a lot to these women who have these channels giving out dating advice and putting out their business out there. I mean, witness protection program, but then she talks about Montana Man, how he dropped off. Maybe he dropped off because he doesn't want his business out there. Listen, you have to decide whether you're going to be an influencer for the 20 cat ladies who are following you, or if you're going to decide, hey, you know what? I actually want a serious relationship. Maybe I should go dark on this and concentrate on me finding someone.
As far as the new update, so there was someone that I met via social media. We have mutual friends. Long story short, we had a phone conversation last night because he has seen my TikToks and he knows I'm only going if it's a hell yes. So he's like, should we talk first? How do you want to do this? Which I thought was super cute. So we did. We had a phone conversation yesterday, And it looks like we will be meeting up probably in the next week or so. Holidays are a little crazy. But yeah, I feel good about going. So maybe I'll actually go on one date the whole month of December, which is one more than I thought I was going to go. Yeah. So we'll see what transpires that way. And I will say he's the only person that's really reached out to me that's like new in the month of December. Most people that I have talked to in December, I have previously dated, at least a couple dates before. And so he's someone that I've never met, never gone on a date with. We just have mutual friends and all that. So we shall see if I end up not being dateless in December. Can you imagine, guys? Other than that, the big plan today is football and food and all of that. Like I said, I'll try to get on. It might be every couple days during this week, but I hope everybody is enjoying their holiday season. And yeah, I'll be back to update you soon.
Can we imagine her dating in December? OMG! Who would have seen that? Maybe not this gorilla. So much for witness protection. I mean, you basically made half the video about this guy. You already told us that you have friends in common and you may go on one date. All this stuff is giving out his birth date and the last 4 of his social security number, and we probably got a lock on the guy. Ladies, this is exactly what I've been talking about. You're doing things that torpedo your chances of having a relationship. I mean, obviously the guy is interested in her, but he was hesitant of, hey, I don't want you putting this out on blast. If that guy were to ask this gorilla for advice, I would tell him, dude, you're walking into a minefield. You may be lucky if you walk the other side without stepping on something. Or you may not. That's on you. Listen, Queen, I'm pretty sure that you're doing these videos with the best of intentions and you're not seeing the errors that you're making here. But that doesn't mean you're not making them. How about this crazy idea of you make a video series about something that doesn't have to do with, I don't know, some information that a guy doesn't want you to put out there. All right, let's come at this from a different angle, right? Let's say you don't like anyone reacting to your personal dating life. Okay, if you don't want anyone reacting to that, then don't put it out on blast on social media for the world to see. It's called accountability. You put it out there, people have the right to have an opinion about it. Some people will drop it in your comments, others will use other mediums to respond to it. The point is, you're gonna get feedback. I mean, what if you date a guy that also has a strong social media presence, and he constantly tells all his followers about his dates with you, of everything that happened? Would you feel comfortable with that? Maybe certain details you didn't want released out there get released. One could think that's the type of attention you don't want. But that's all right, Colleen. When you turn 70 and you have about a dozen cats, you could always justify it by saying you got 1,000 likes per story, which made it worth it. I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.